Sometimes you meet an athlete who does things that make your jaw drop. My guest today is one of them. Hi, it's Emily from Bite Size Vegan, and welcome to another Vegan Nugget. Tim Livewire Shieff is a professional parkour and freerunning world champion who's been on MTV's Ultimate Parkour Challenge, numerous commercials and campaigns, and graced the obstacle courses of American Ninja Warrior multiple times, leading to the European team victory. I could go on and on about his athletic prowess, but I think that this may be a little more entertaining than me. Was I right? On top of all of this, Tim is a compassionate and deeply spiritual individual. So when I had the pleasure of sitting down with him, we talked about his formation into a professional parkour champion and ethical vegan. Well, Tim, I just want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be on the channel and share your experience.
Thank you, Emily. I've been following your channel for a little while now, since your Gary Yourofsky interviews, which were great. And I think, yeah, it's great to be involved with such a good channel.
Thank you so much.
It's all right.
All right, so just kind of, I guess, start off with a little bit of background, especially for people who may not know you, which I don't know how many of my viewers don't, but kind of why and when you went vegan, and then you can also maybe talk about why and when you started parkour and free running.
So I went vegan, I think it was September 2012, so just under 3 years now. I think my friend just mentioned vegetarianism to me. I had a few friends that were vegan, although I didn't see them very often. They lived in California, and they never really spoke to me about it. I never really took that much interest. I didn't really get it. It wasn't in the forefront of my mind. And then I saw Gary Yourofsky's talk, the YouTube video where he gives a speech to the school, and no one had ever put it so bluntly. I think that's what I needed all along, was someone to just tell me straight what I'm supporting, and that of course I don't want to support animal cruelty, and that my choices are supporting that on a daily basis. And when someone put it as bluntly as Gary, that's what I needed. It's funny because some people say he's too harsh with it, but I think there's different things for different people. But that was certainly what I needed to hear. So that changed my life from that moment. And then in terms of that, before then I started parkour in 10 years ago when I was about 16. I'm 17. I'm 27 now, and that was a very spiritual child. As you become an adult, you lose that childish nature, and I think it's important to keep that. And parkour was something that cultivated that for me, because it kept me seeing the world as a playground. And you get, as kids, we want to play around and climb on things and play fight, and then you get older and parents tell you to sit still, and it really is so damaging to a child, because it makes us so linear, and we just use our bodies then to walk to school, and become these robots, and we miss all the freeness of our bodies and what it's capable of. And so that was certainly, without knowing it, was a spiritual decision to just pursue. It looked cool. I want to do that kind of thing, and I pursued that. And then the evolution for me was, when I became vegan, I became a better athlete. I became a lot leaner, a lot more my actual the body type that I think you should be. I think veganism changes people in different ways. Some people get skinnier, some people get bigger. It just makes you the optimum type for what your kind of function is, and what your role to play is. And I found that through veganism.
For you personally, how did the progression happen? I mean, because you've now, you're now so prominent in it, and even done it professionally. And so how did that even kind of come? How did that evolve for you?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, because there wasn't really a potential to, when I started parkour, you couldn't really be a professional parkour athlete. So we kind of paved the way to professionalism. And within 9 months of starting, I got into a team that was just at the brink of becoming professional. And I traveled to Iceland, which is a beautiful place. I did a job out there for Nokia. And I was like, oh, I can get paid and travel and do this. And I got into university to do a maths and physics degree. I do really enjoy maths. But I decided to defer it and pursue this, and it worked out. I started to get more and more jobs, sponsorships, things like that. And then 2009, I won the World Championships, and that helped again with my profile, my CV, and just it grows from there. I always kept my YouTube channel going. I put a lot of parkour content out, so I was always a prominent figure within the parkour community, and maintained that. And it was, I was just really blessed to be able to pursue it. I just think when there's like a pure thing within you that has a passion for something, and it's when you live it through that and you let that guide you, you're rewarded somehow. And it's just I didn't have that belief until afterwards, and I've like looked backwards and been, that's how it works. It's hard going forwards to just have that leap of faith and believe in that, but I can promise you it works out.
What for you has been the most rewarding experience of your journey with parkour and free running?
It's a tough one to say. It took me all around the world, which is nice. I went to Egypt and I climbed the Great Pyramid there, which was technically illegal, but we did that. I went to Hong Kong and filmed, I think that's my favorite video I ever shot, was a 20-minute documentary in Hong Kong with one of my best friends, Jason Paul. And I did a photo shoot where I was naked over the rooftops of London. These are all like amazing moments to look back on, but they were amazing in the time. I don't know. I think once I discovered veganism and then was able to sustain, and not only sustain but become a better athlete through that and show that evidentially, that is a bigger reward for me, because it's as far as I can see, it's an injustice. It's so wrong. That angers me more than anything. And so to be at a time when I can contribute to showing people there's a better way, I think that's giving my service to help a better cause is the best way I've found.
What's been like the general response that you've gotten within, the parkour and free running community to being vegan? It's
pretty mixed. I think generally it's kind of a split thing. It's very, diet brings out a lot of emotion in people. But I've been everywhere I go, every place I visit, there's kids that hit me up that are vegan through my introduction, through some of my videos. And then you get the other people that say it's not relevant, that I'm speaking too much. They just want to see me do parkour, and they're going to get that. I did an interview on YouTube with the founder of parkour, David Bell, and no one had interviewed him in years, and it was quite a big thing in the community. Everyone that was part of the community watched it, and there was a moment when I talked to him about veganism. I said, parkour is kind of a spiritual connection to the environment. We're about preserving the environment. If we damage any of our things we're interacting with, we won't be able to use them, or the next generations can't train on those obstacles. So we definitely are mindful when we train. So while we encouraging people to leave a trail of chicken carcasses and ribs after we're training, when we eat, when we don't need to, and he connected with it, he understood it. I mean, he's a wise guy and has got a perspective, but some people really didn't like the fact that I brought that up and thought it was irrelevant. But I think that they must be more narrow-minded not to see the relevance there.
Well, again, thank you, Tim, so much. I really appreciate it. I know that you have a very packed schedule, so thank you so much for everything you do.
Yeah, thank you. I've actually got a video coming out today, so if you're watching this, the video's out, and you might have seen it already. It's a Gary Yourofsky compilation I made. I think it's very important. I made a Russell Brand compilation a few years ago, and it did very successful, got like 2.5 million views, and this is my sequel to that. I see Gary as the most important revolutionary of our decade, of our century, because he's saying there's a lot of spiritual leaders out there that are saying things that have been said for millennia, that it's great that they're saying it, and we need it reworded so that we can understand it, and I needed someone like Eckhart Tolle to help guide me. But what Gary says is something that most people are afraid to say, and I think it's the most important revolutionary, and I know you've supported him in the past, Emily, and so yeah, check that video out. That's just a little thing, but yeah, thank you very much for having me on your channel. Stay tuned to Bite Size Vegan. I'm going to stay tuned. See you guys soon.
I hope you enjoyed hearing from Tim on his journey into being a parkour champion and vegan advocate. Stay tuned to the series for more with him, including his tips on qualifying for American Ninja Warrior and what he eats in a day. Find links to his YouTube channel, website, and other social media below to keep up with his impressive antics. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts on what Tim shared in the comments below. If you enjoyed this nugget filled with mind-blowing moves, give the video a big thumbs up and share it around to show what vegans can do. If you're new here, do hit that big red subscribe button down there for more awesome vegan content every Monday, Wednesday, and some Fridays, and not to miss out on the rest of the Vegan Athlete series. If you want to help support Bite Size Vegan, check out either of the support links in the video description below, or click the Nugget Army icon there or the link in the sidebar. Now go live vegan, remember to play, and I'll see you soon. Parkour! 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 Parkour.